The reason we know this is because Fritz is the great uncle of my wife. When the family were told that Fritz had been injured and wasn't coming home, they started to search for him. Was he captured? Was he dead? The reports from his team were that they heard a single shot as they made the run. So the assumption was that he was dead, but nobody knew.
Yeah.
He's basically, he had two people carrying him on a tent sheet.
Yes,
Two people carry, and he said they could see the Russian tanks coming over. And he said, let me down, save yourselves. He had to say it multiple times. And at the end, they set him down on the path, on a tree. He gave him his maps. And they ran to Ferma, and they report they could hear a single shot.
Oder Translation alles? Warte Sigi, dann kann ich hier in Deutsch. Die kurze Story. Ja, okay?
Ja.
Okay.
In Deutsch und Englisch, warte.
Deutsch und Englisch.
Und Russian, okay, ja? Ich habe eine lange Story auch, long, aber erstmal kurz die Short Story, ja?
Okay.
Hier kannst du lesen.
It's in German and I translate.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not perfect. That's Steins. Okay. We are looking for the grave of our uncle Fritz später. We know that Fritz
Bei Asuna.
Was wounded on the 18th of July 1944 near Asuna. He was carried south around the lake towards Ferma. He died on the way to Ferma on the edge of the forest. The farmer lady Sankiewicz has found him on the 19th of July 1944, and he was buried on the path, or next to the path in the woods.
Sie had found it on 18 and sprach mit ihm.
And in the evening of the 18th, she had actually found him, and they were talking.
And must go
and
in Wald.
Yeah. And she left him because she was hiding in the middle of the forest, where the local people were hiding in the forest, because the tanks cannot go into the forest. They would go around it. Yeah. So the local people left their houses and went into the forest to be safe, which was normal.
Who passed this info about your uncle to?
It comes later.
Behind what was the Iron Curtain then in the 70s in the Russian territory, Fritz's brother made trips with a friend to the area to try and find the information onto what had happened, and they found at the time a Latvian lady who remembers when she was a child finding a soldier in the right position, and he had the leg injuries that fit for Fritz, and he had an injury to his face where he tried with his own pistol to kill himself. Unfortunately, she describes that he hadn't managed this and was trying to dress his wounds with his shirt. She had to hide because the Russians were coming, and went back to help him, by which point he died. And in 1973 she still tended the grave where she'd buried him in the woods where he'd fallen. Alfred, Fritz's brother, made sketches and notes to take home to the family, so that he could prepare a report to the family as to where their missing family member was. At the time there was no chance to get him into a war grave or to bring him home.
So, next bit. In 1973, she, the lady Sienkiewicz, has shown the grave to his uncle Alfred, who is the brother of Fritz, who died, and the brother of his father. Many brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
And there is a photograph of the path with the lady and also my uncle on the grave, and he made a sketch drawing at the time and shows the path going east-west in the forest.
Yeah.
Because the forest path is not straight all the way, so he made mark some trees and things as well. He has photographed the house towards the lake where the lady lived and put it on the sketch.
Ich ergänze mal die Story, weil wir es wissen. Lady Sienkiewicz erhielt vom Fritz, vom Funden, kleinen Foto.
Yeah, she also was given or found when he died. We think she was given it in her report. She a small camera from the soldier that he still had, and she in 1973 she gave that camera to my uncle, and the name. So all the cameras at the time were the same. So soldiers were writing their names in them.
Yeah.
It had his name in it.
Unfortunately, a few years later, Alfred was killed in a house fire. We believe he'd gone back in to get the location report for his brother. There was nobody else in the house and no reason to go back. So the report and Alfred were lost. Some years later again, a family member was clearing the old workshop and found a box which contained the negatives from photos, the reports from and the notes from Alfred's visits to Latvia. We also found from this that the Latvian girl, when she'd found Fritz, had been given his camera, which was then passed to Alfred and still had Fritz's name written on the back. So Wolfgang has spent five years or more researching the area, many fact-finding trips, which brought us last year to this area of woodland, which, having looked around, we were convinced was the right area, but not to where the actual grave is, which is where your guys came in for the help, to try and narrow that down from a large area of woodland to a small area to dig.
Da muss der Boden fester sein, mit dem dünnen Stock durchzugehen. Und das haben sie hier überhaupt nicht gefunden.
Ja.
Jetzt sind sie die andere Gegend lang.
Ja.
Also,
And the road is not going up like here.
und auch hier haben wir
can't see
einen
so
So
far.
hier.
Hier
That is not here.
Hier stimmt die Ebene nicht.
Ja.
And if you look
Und wenn du
behind,
weiter
back,
guckst, nach dem Grab, hier weiter,
other direction.
in die andere, Moment, dann weiter, das ist die andere Richtung.
This is here to west.
Ja, das ist west, das ist backwards.
Here, if you look backwards,
Ja.
then this also goes up, but here we can see quite flat
This
road
is
and
to west.
and
This is to west.
This
and
is going
distance.
backwards. This is
very
backwards.
west.
yes,
This
yes.
is going backwards.
Ja.
This is
That is backward.
backward.
voluntary number?
Tried so hard we cannot give up. Fritz has a family grave with his brothers waiting for him in Kaina in East Germany, and at the end of the day he's a young lad who gave his life for his team. He needs to go home.